see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Got some egos to the face, baby I don't need no space. Coming closer.
Tonight we are lucky enough to be riding Suzuki's new GSXS1000. Now, I know I had a couple of eyebrows raised at me when I originally said I wanted to do this video at night, but there's a reason for me wanting to do it at night. You know, the first thing being that, you know, this is realistically a street fighter. There's just something about this bike that just says to me this needs to be done at night, and that's what I'm doing. So as you guys can see, we are riding at night. You know, it's a very different approach to everything as opposed to the norm. Nobody else does this, so we figured, well, I figured at any rate, let me take it out at night, let me go and see what this bike can actually really do. It's a street fighter, guys. So you know what, this is a town bike. This isn't hit the open road and, you know, slap the missus on the back or whatever. This is a fun bike. This is a bike that you're gonna pull out of the garage, you're gonna go and play around in town. You're not really gonna ride it long distance. Yeah, you might do the odd breakfast run or something like that, cool, not a problem, but this isn't really the type of bike that you're gonna do long distances with. It's not, although it is comfortable for a street fighter, it's not a comfort bike, if that makes sense what I'm saying. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a spin around, see what's happening, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. So guys, the one thing I really like about this bike is Suzuki's quick shift system. The quick shift system, it's absolutely butter, like John always says. Suzuki's, I don't know how the hell they did it, I don't know what it is, but there's just something special about Suzuki's quick shift system. It's an up and down system, comes standard on the bike. You can deactivate it if you want to, you know, move over to the good old-fashioned clutch. But seriously, like, you're not going to do it. You know, you really are not going to do it. I mean, you can check. I mean, my hand's off, and I'm just kicking it, and this thing's absolute. It's smooth. It's silky smooth. No questions asked. It doesn't hesitate. It goes. As always, Suzuki straightforward. Mono dashboard. You know, a lot of the other manufacturers have gone over full tilt to the TFT screens, and you know, I was actually speaking to a couple of the guys, you know, that have seen this bike. I've spoken to some of the guys from Suzuki side itself as well, and I must say I agree with them. You know, I mean, the price tag skyrockets as soon as they put that little color TFT screen in, and you don't really need it. I mean, this thing is absolutely crystal clear. It's giving me everything that I need, but at the same time, it's not drawing my attention. It's letting me focus on the road. It's not making me focus on it, and that's exactly what you want. You want straightforwardness, and that's what Suzuki is. And you know, a lot of people, you know, oh, but you know, color screen, it's more informational and what. How is it more informational, guys? This gives me exactly what I need. It lets me ride. I'm not sitting playing with gadgets and stuff. I'm just riding, you know, and that's what this bike is all about, is the ride. So yeah, guys, the retail price, the recommended retail price according to Suzuki SA's website is 225,900, which is actually not bad considering what you're getting. You know, I mean, you're getting Suzuki's latest SIRS, I think it's Suzuki Intelligent Ride System or something like that. That's got to do with the traction control, ABS, all of that jazz. The quick shift is included in that and all of that type of stuff. You know, I mean, the traction control and the ABS system and all of that stuff in this bike is absolutely unreal. Alright Guys, so just put some petrol in. I didn't put a lot in, but just a little bit just to get us through this video. Fun and games. Petrol prices are killing us, I'm sure. Well, I know it is definitely on our side. I don't know about you guys' side, but hey, that's why we ride motorcycles, because it's more cost effective. Yeah guys, so getting back into the GSXS1000, I'm sure you guys are excited. You think I'm going to the highway? Well, sure as hell ain't, because the wind on this bike is an absolute nightmare. But you know what, screw it. Actually, you know what, let's go to the highway. I'm just going to take it easy down the highway. I'll just go from off ramp to on ramp. So I'll turn off at the next off ramp, and then well, I'll turn off at this off ramp coming up, and then I'll just jump off of the highway again at the next on ramp. Oh well, on ramp, off ramp, I'm getting mixed up here. Either way, I'm gonna climb onto the highway here quickly, just so that I can open this thing up and show you guys a little bit more what you can do. Obviously, I mean, it's a street naked. I mean, this isn't the type of bike that you're gonna ride long distance on the highway, because it's gonna kill you. The wind is gonna kill you. That little deflector, wind deflector thing that they got up in front does a massively incredible job, but it's still a bit of a pain. But I mean, you're not gonna buy a Street Fighter to compete against it. I'm just gonna open it up a little bit just to get past this truck. I don't know if you guys can hear me now, but I mean, as you can see, I mean, the roll-on power is absolutely unbloody real on this thing, even in 6th gear. This is a screamer of a motor. This is typical inline 4 Japanese bike, high RPM. It wants to scream, and that's what this bike wants to do. I mean, that's actually realistically what you want a Street Fighter to do around town. Is you want it to be a screamer. The fact that it's a 1000cc motor, just adds to that. Just turn on the high beam. Let's see what's going on here. If anybody's out on the West Rand that's watching this, you guys will know that this is 14th Avenue that I'm climbing off at the moment. Generally a fairly dangerous on-off ramp, but it is what it is. Alrighty then guys, so as you guys can see, this is obviously standard trim. Nothing fancy schmancy about what's added. I'm just gonna turn this key on. So I mean, look at how small those lights are. I mean, like, what the heck? Yet you turn these lights on and they're absolutely unreal. Obviously Suzuki's gone for this new square indicator setup of theirs. I'm just going to turn the hazards on so you guys can check it out. Loving these new hazards, well, loving the new indicators, the shape. They're a little bit more stylish than your standard everyday. Like I said, the front I'm a little bit 50-50 with. I love the fact that they've added the winglets. I mean, it's a stupid thing, but you're not going to really get to use it unless you're out on the track properly. But like I say, I mean, the front, I don't know, as much as what I like the exposed shock, upside down telescopics, as much as what I like the shocks being visible, at the same time, I don't know, I just feel this thing's got a little bit of a small face. But you know what, like I say, I mean, it's something that's so new. It's typical of Suzuki. I mean, it's like when they first brought out the Kitana, it's something so new that it appeals, but it's freaky, but it appeals, if that makes sense what I'm saying. It's like the camo. They've got this camo pattern out on the side. Now I hate camo on the best of days, but it just works on this bike. It's actually unreal, how well that works on this bike. Either way though, I'm not going to yap all the time. You guys will see that I've got the second GoPro mount up already. I'm going to do some shots and stuff like that somewhere along the lines in the video of the actual dials, so that you guys can see the type of power that this thing's producing. It's absolutely unreal. So yeah, enjoy. Alrighty then guys, so as you guys can see, we're coming up to a stop and now we're in town. This is Randburg side, so I mean it's town, but it's not really town. It's town. We're a little bit. I think we're a block away from Cresta at the moment. Give you guys an idea of whereabouts we are, and I'm gonna unleash it a little bit. It's a slightly different camera view to the norm. It's a slightly different camera view to the norm, and hopefully you guys can catch that. Hopefully you guys can catch that tacho. Let's open it up a bit. So I don't know if you guys saw, I mean that's only to 4th gear. Just how quickly this bike catches speed. It's absolutely unreal. Traction control, okay, fair enough. In the bike's defense, the traction control is only set to 2. But I mean that's just that little bit that I did now. And as you guys can see, this bike just unleashes that back tire. It's unreal what this bike is capable of doing. But again, you know, it's a town bike. It's a super naked. This is the type of bike that you're just gonna ride around in town. This is not the type of bike that you're gonna take out on the open road. You know, if you're in the market for an open road bike, rather get a touring bike. Don't get a GSX-S1000. I would not recommend that, because it's gonna hurt you. You know, long distance open road, it's gonna hurt you. But again, you know, if you're in the market for a super naked, you know, if you know anything about what you're doing, that's the last thing that you're gonna buy a super naked for, is for the open road, because you know that it's gonna hurt you. It's just one of those things. It's not built for it. So, you know, you buy a thing for its purpose. You're not going to buy a saw to hammer a nail, and you're not going to buy a hammer to saw a plank. It's just not what you're going to do. You're going to buy the right tool for the right job. That's what it is. So, you know, I mean, you guys need to keep that in mind. So, for personal opinion, if I was in the market for a super naked bike, this would definitely crack my top 5 list, eyes closed. And you know what, I'm going to actually be brave enough to say that this would probably, in all honesty, take it for me. If I was ever in the market for a super naked bike, I think this would be it. And my biggest reasoning behind that, so, you know, I actually had somebody ask me the other day about the difference between this and the Katana. Now look, I'm a long time Katana fan, always have been. I've ridden the classic and I've ridden the new one, and I've ridden the latest newest one, which they've actually, believe it or not, done updates underneath that skirt. The Katana is a completely different animal. You know, although they've modernized the Katana, there's still something raw about the Katana, if that makes sense what I'm saying. There's a rawness to it, that there's a rough element to it, you know, where with this bike, yes, they're sharing fundamentally the same chassis, and they are sharing basically the same motor, sort of, in a way. This one just feels more, I don't know how to explain it. It feels like it's more refined, where the Katana is more animalistic and brutal. This for me is a lot more refined. It's clean. The tech is absolutely top notch. But I mean that's in all of Suzuki's current models. The tech that they're putting in with that Suzuki Intelligent Ride system is absolutely unreal. You know, and I mean that's the biggest selling point on Suzuki. That's the one thing that I always say, you know, the guys don't take into account when looking at new bikes, is that you guys, you know, they're not looking at what's under the skirt. The first thing that everybody worries about is the color TFT screen. And you know what, to be honest with you, I've gotten more and more interested in Suzuki's format of screen as opposed to the big color TFTs. Yes, they're nice, but you know, do we need them? You know, does it not take away the element of the ride, if that makes sense what I'm saying? Because I mean, you got this big splashing display on your, you know, in your view all the time, and you know, it's taking away the actual ride. And I think that's something where Suzuki's really excelled, is that they've, I mean, with all their bikes, I mean, even the Hayabusa, the brand new Hayabusa, I mean, we just did the review in the magazine on the new Hayabusa, finally. We won't get into that because there's a lot of politics, but we're not going to get into that. But I mean, even that, you know, they've got this tiny little TFT screen, and its only purpose is to give you information. That is it. It's not a pretty show. There's no radios, there's no funny things, there's no this and that. It gives you basic, straightforward information, what you need, but they've kept in mind that you are not there. I mean, your bike's not an entertainment system. Your bike is a bike. It's made to be ridden. That's what you want to do. You want to ride the damn thing. And that's what Suzuki's excelled at, is building a bike that focuses on the ride. It doesn't focus on the gadgets and all the things and all the little bells and whistles, which this bike's got. And all of their bikes at the moment with the SIRS system have. They've got all the gadgets, but it doesn't focus on those gadgets. And that's what makes these bikes such a dream. In particular this one, I'm absolutely loving this thing. You know, in terms of a super naked, I've always been very fond of BMW's R1250R, and make no mistake, brutal machine. That 1250R is an absolute beast. That boxer motor produces enough tire shredding freaking torque to kill just about anybody, but I don't know, there's just something about it that's really got my attention on this bike. I don't know if it's the lightness, although that 1250R, like I said as well, you know, I mean, despite the fact that it's a 1250 boxer motor and it's big and it's heavy and it's bulky, it's also very light in the corner. It's actually too light in the damn corner for that torque curve, in my opinion, because that back wheel just spends its life spinning on you. But I don't know, there's just something so bloody unique about this thing. I mean, I'm in third, right, guys? I'm in third gear, 80 k's an hour. Fair enough. The engine is squealing at me to go more. This engine just wants me to unleash it. And you know, quick shifter, absolutely bloody butter. Suzuki got this thing right. And I'm sorry, but at 220k, you know what, and I say 220k tongue in cheek, I mean, you know what, you should be able to, if you're in the market for a new bike right now and you're looking at a damn Street Fighter, you should be able to negotiate it. Yeah, but you know, I mean, in that 220, 230k mark, you know, you're not going to get better than this. I'm sorry. There's no ways in hell you're going to get better than this on the market right now. And this thing's just unleashing, you know, and I'm barely even touching the RPM. I'm barely even touching the full potential, and this thing has got me freaking clinging on for dear life. That's how good this thing is. That's how tight this motor is. That's how incredible the internal tech is. And yes, Suzuki's now pulled out of GP and all of that type of stuff, sadly. But you know, I mean, that's just part of the things, you know. I mean, they've learned what they've needed to learn. They've gained the experience that they've needed to gain. They don't need to learn anymore. And it's evident. It's evident when they produce a bike like this. It's deadly evident. It's clearly evident that they absolutely have nothing to learn regarding this.